Hi there, welcome back. How are you feeling today? So something that's been coming out a lot as we've been creating the courses. I was going to say I, but it's really we. I know, I got it. They've all got their hands up like, at least, like I have. I'm like, no, I know it's a we. But I'm the human that has to put it together, all right? So just chill. Okay, so we're back. Sorry. They're just giving me the bombastic side eye, as my daughter does sometimes when I'm like, Mom. Now, what's been coming through a lot as we've been creating the courses, happy now, is that we cannot heal what we're not willing to feel. Now, I've heard this a lot as I've been going through the process of healing. And it's true. If you're not willing to look at it, you can't shift it. You're just going to keep repeating more and more and more of the same that you've already got now. And if the life that you're living now is something that doesn't make you happy, it doesn't make you satisfied, it doesn't make you feel fulfilled, you have the power to change it. But to change it, you have to be willing to look at the things that are keeping your current reality in place. Everything that's happening for you right now is happening for a reason. And until you understand the reason, you can't shift it. It'll just keep repeating. You can change where you live. You can change your job. There's lots of things outside of you that you can change. But until you look at why that's there, whatever it is that's causing you discomfort, you can't shift it. You can't change it completely. You can change where you live, go move somewhere else. But those problems will follow you there. You can change your job, go do another job, do a completely different job that's got nothing to do with what you were doing before. And you will still find that the problems you had there will follow you there. Whatever issues you had, if you have an overbearing boss, a boss that's constantly putting you down, somewhere in your new job you will find something similar, because there is something for you to gain from that. In your human experience, that's there for a reason. And so changing jobs is only going to make it different. You'll be doing a different job, but that will follow you. That pattern will follow you because it's there for a reason. Same with your home. I remember, I can't think how long ago it was now. It was before my daughter was born. So we're talking more than 15 years ago. And one day I said to my husband, I said, why don't we just sell up and go live somewhere else? Sydney is so expensive. Everything costs so much here. And the prices of the houses here, everything is the most expensive in Sydney. I said, let's go live somewhere else, far away from Sydney, that isn't going to cost us as much. We'll get to pay off our house quicker and be free of that mortgage quicker. And in that moment, in all his beautiful wisdom, my husband said to me, whatever problems we have here in Sydney will follow us to wherever it is that we're going. Those problems will not go away just because we've moved. And so we stayed. And he was right. Those problems, whatever they were, they didn't shift until they were ready to shift, until we were ready and we understood why they were there. So, my beautiful beings, all of these gorgeous courses that we are creating for you are for this. All this time, we've been suppressing. In our childhood, we're not allowed to express our anger. In our childhood, we're not allowed to express our fear when we have fear. When things hurt, for so many of us, we're not allowed to express that. We have to put up with that pain, with that suffering, and suppress it. So many of us, this is our childhood. So what happens? You go into your adult years and you continue to suppress. Things upset you, you just shove it down. You don't say anything. Things make you afraid. Again, you shove it down. You don't say anything. You don't show it. Because for me in my childhood, showing fear meant that you were weak. It was a sign of weakness. And anger was the worst. Anger was something you definitely could not express. It was so wrong to express anger. It was bad. In my childhood, this is how I grew up. And so many of us have this anger bottled up inside, shoved down so deep. And when things make us angry as adults and they make us afraid and they hurt us, we don't know how to express it because we've never been allowed. So what do we do? What do you do? I know for me, for a long time, you know, if there was something, I'd gone through the day and something made me angry, I would come home and I would vent to my husband. And then he'd be like, well, why don't you tell them? And I'm like, I can't tell them. You know, I can't express this anger out in the world. I can only express it with you because I'm safe with you. I feel safe with you. I can tell you all these things. But his response was always that. Well, why didn't you tell that person in that moment? Because for him, it was so easy to do that. But I didn't grow up that way. I didn't grow up being allowed to express any of it unless I was over the moon with joy. Happiness was the only thing we were allowed to express. Because even love, if I expressed too much love, that was wrong. So, expressing too much love towards my dad was the reason I was sent to Catholic school. So, you know, it's like we're always holding back, even when we want to do good things like giving our love. We're taught that's wrong as well. You know? So, for many of us, not all of us, but many of us, this was our childhood. So these beautiful courses that we've been creating with my beautiful spirit team are there to support you through these processes of expressing, pushing it out of you, getting it out of your system. It's no longer in you because it's stuck in there. And it's the reason all this stuff is stuck in there and you haven't been allowed to express it. And that's the reason that nothing changes, that the patterns seem to keep repeating and repeating, and you feel like, oh my God, nothing's ever going to change. I'm so over this merry-go-round, because that's how I felt before my daughter was born. I felt like I was on a merry-go-round or a Ferris wheel. You know those big Ferris wheels? And you're just going round and round, but you can't get off. That's how it felt. How do I get off this thing? You know, I'm done going around in this merry-go-round or in this Ferris wheel. I'm done. I want to get off this ride. How do I get off this ride? And for me, the beautiful process that worked for me was Your Past is a Gift. That's what that whole book is about. The first book was getting it all out of me. I just wanted it out. However that looked, I didn't care how ugly it looked. I just wanted it out. I didn't want it inside me anymore. And there's this beautiful process that happens when you start to write it all down on paper and you're looking at it outside of you. That's what most of these processes, these beautiful courses that we're putting together, will have a writing element to them. Because when you write it out on paper and you're looking at it outside of you, you begin to look at it as an observer. And this is what the soul is doing at all times, in every moment. Your soul is observing everything. It's an observer, but it doesn't get involved. It's just curious as to what's happening. It just observes, it studies, examines everything you're doing. Wow, how interesting. To the soul, everything is interesting. Everything is curious. Everything is wonderful. It doesn't judge that it's good or bad or right or wrong. The soul is there for, oh, You know, that's the feeling that this experience creates. And these beautiful courses take you through the process of expressing, pushing all of that out of your system. Out, out, out. No longer suppressing. And it doesn't matter how it looks when you start to express. If it looks like yelling, then go yell at a tree. And I think in a few courses we say that. Go yell at a tree. A tree doesn't care. A tree will not get offended and not talk to you for the next 10 years. It doesn't matter. The tree doesn't care. It's more than happy to absorb that energy. The tree will gladly take it for you. Go and scream at the ocean. It's so vast. The ocean doesn't care. Find a place where you feel safe and just yell it out if that feels good to you. Perhaps for some of you, you may want to sit and cry. That will be the process for you. Just tears that you haven't allowed yourself to release. It may look like tears. For some, if we have suppressed for such a long time, nothing may come out. Nothing might come out for a little while. Might be nothing. Might feel like, oh, there's nothing happening. But it will. It will when the time is right. You have to give yourself permission to express, to let it out. But we are here for you throughout all of it. We're here for you. So in order to move forward, we need to look at it. Burying it under the rug and ignoring it doesn't help you heal it, doesn't help you understand it. Why is it there? Anger, why is the anger there? The sadness, why is the sadness there? The fear, why is the fear there? How often do you stop to ask yourself that question? Why am I afraid of this? Why does this make me angry? Why? We've been taught our whole lives to point the finger, blame, 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 blame. It's that person's fault I'm not happy. It's that person's fault I'm afraid. It's that person's fault I'm angry, or whatever it is that you're feeling. We blame, blame, blame. What happens with blame? We're giving someone else the power. It's their fault that I'm not happy. They have the power over my happiness. When you blame them, you're giving them all the power. You're saying, hey, you're the one that's supposed to make me happy. You're not making me happy. You're to blame that I'm unhappy. But how can they know what makes you happy in your heart, inside? What makes you happy? Do you know? Only you can know that. That person can't know. They've got their own issues. They've got their own problems. They've got their own life, their own journey. When we blame, we give others our power. We give the power over to them. It's your fault that I'm angry. I'm angry because of you. You have the power to make me angry. This is what you're saying. All the while, you have a choice. You have a choice to look at, well, hang on a minute. Why is the anger there? Why is it there? Where did it come from? Were you born angry? Do you ever stop to think about that? Were you born angry? Were you born afraid? The anger, the fear, these are all things that we learn in our childhood. We learn these, we're not born with them. And the moment you begin to look at, oh, hang on a minute, I learnt it. Where did this start? Where is it that I became angry? At what point did this anger start? When we look at those moments, no matter how painful they are, that's when things can change. That's when things can heal. we begin to look at those moments rather than continue to bury them under the rug. I put it to you this way because I know for me what the answer was. For such a long time, I didn't want to look at the things that caused me pain in my childhood. I didn't want to look at the fact that I believed that my mum didn't love me. And it hurt when I saw how much she loved my sister. It hurt. But I didn't want to look at that because I didn't want to hurt anymore. But then you keep going through life like that. And it doesn't make the hurt go away. So this is what we're inviting you with all these videos, with all these courses that we're creating. We're inviting you to look at it so that you can let it go. It no longer has power over you. You can take your power back now. All those moments that we create in our childhood that make us angry, that make us afraid, that make us upset, we've handed our power over to those moments, to those people. We gave them our power. Here, we give you this one, we give you this one, we give you this one. You have the power now. And as long as you keep blaming that, oh, you made me angry, you made me afraid, you made me upset, you, as long as we keep pointing the finger out there, we keep giving the power to them. We're not taking our power back. We take our power back the moment we start looking at it and understanding why that made us angry, why that made us afraid, why that upset us so much. Then we take our power back. Ah, I remember now. This is what happened. All right, my beautiful beings. You cannot heal what you're not willing to feel, what you're not willing to look at. It's just how it works. If you're happy with how things are going, keep doing that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're like me and you feel like you're on this huge merry-go-round or this huge Ferris wheel that just goes round and round and round, and you can't get off, and you're just getting the same over and over and over, and it's not making you happy, and you don't feel fulfilled. I know exactly how that feels. And that's why I'm here, creating all these videos, creating all these beautiful books that they give me to give to you, creating the beautiful courses. Because I know what it feels like. All right, my beautiful beings. And it is possible to step off that merry-go-round, to step off that Ferris wheel. You can get off that ride. I love you guys. Remember to click like or subscribe below. And share the beautiful videos that others may find this beautiful message today. It might be just exactly what they need. All right, my beautiful beings. Bye for now.